up?
I don't think so.
I mean, if there's only 3 players, should we like maybe wait that we have more?
I honestly doubt Mittens will turn up, and well,
Like this, yeah, this is the thing. The other two, which I thought would turn up regularly, have not decided to turn up regularly. I did ask Serene, but doesn't feel like it this week. He's trying to settle into his new work routine, so.
Okay, and Nullrods has not.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. So.
I see. Okay, in that case.
It's a case of I need to actually go out and find people.
The hell happened? Wrong link. I went to this Roll20 forums. Weird stuff.
H2E Suicide. So burning. That should be the other way around. Burning systems. One and a 2, and I get to keep spamming announcements on Discordia. 3. Awesome! Hello and welcome to Dark Heresy 2nd Edition, Burning Systems Suicide Cell. I'm your host and Dungeon Master Deadlight. And joined with me is Rachel, Gray,
hello.
and Seb.
Hey.
Last time you went into a mine and it was full of lots of nope, and so you decided to level the mine.
Yes.
I think that was a perfectly reasonable conclusion.
Yes. No one's doubting that.
No. So, you...
The mine also now belongs to Julian,
Well, yes.
officially at least.
Well, yes, and not only the mine. Let's not kid ourselves.
The other mining operations there that belong to that particular... to the unseen hand, as you have currently named them.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you... There. So yeah, you can make your way back to your ship without issue. You were debriefed by Arix. I believe Julian handed over lots of pick feeds. Oh yes, I remember. Julian handed over his pick camera, and Arix decided to be very sportsmanship and nice and hand him another one of his own house's pick recorders.
Yes, thank you for your generosity. And then I remember the stuff I PM'd you about.
Yes.
We do a little fun part.
I vaguely remember it, but that was like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, it was. Because we happen to have a Magis Biologis on board that's quite good with doing fleshcraft.
Yeah.
We are going to modify one of our trusted minions to look like the dude that died on planet.
Oh, Welsfin.
No, not Velswin. The what's it called? The trader that was running all the stuff here. And we're gonna leave a cell behind with him, so when anybody comes for Velswin's stuff, we can replace that team with our guys and see where they go.
Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Sorry, my brain decided to switch off.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Mine isn't working either. Had a week of fever, so.
Yeah, no, that makes... Now, reading it now again, that's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Yep, no, that's totally reasonable. So,
might delay our departure slightly, but I don't think we had any time-sensitive matters anymore.
Not currently, no.
The only one
that we are aware of, anyway.
Yeah, the only one you were aware of was Heros, which is where you currently are.
Exactly.
And oh boy, where we're going. Potentially delicious lizard people planet.
You might not want to say that to their face.
I have to...
You have to?
No. I'm working on an acronym.
Yeah.
Great, Giggles decided to message me asking about stuff we're doing a social setting in the middle of this setting, so I'm going to tell him I will get back to him.
Yeah.
So henceforth the planet shall be known as PDLPP. For some mysterious reason.
Yeah. I think I'll stick with Artaurus.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to the lizard people. The trip is, as I say, it's a few weeks. Do you wish to do anything in your time?
I might. Hang on a sec. I'd have to check if I had some XP left or not. What Julian could have learned of such a harrowing ordeal. No, I actually apparently spent them. Yeah, we did spend them. I took like stuff like Trade Void Fair and...
Yeah, I remember you saying. There is a handout which has ship info, which I will try to update with stuff which goes on the ship, like interesting personnel, etc., etc., but I'm going to be lazy and do that as and when I need it. So yeah.
I tried to dig out like whatever we know about this potentially what the hell was it now? I already forgot my acronym. PDLPP planet.
What was that a P too much?
Yeah, it was a P too much. PDLP planet.
Yeah, well, semi-recently, in the last 20 to 30 years, they were a slave. It wasn't actually their planet. It was actually held by another race. My brain has decided to switch off, and I'm seriously...
If I may interject, was a Strix's planet.
It was a Strix's planet, okay.
Oh. Was a fucking shithole.
Yes. The Arcula managed to rebel and succeed in their rebellion and break away into a sort of independence. The way they've managed to keep this independence since then is by playing their trade much more, not freely, but like they've been able to focus on their own trade, which is their artwork based on memory, as opposed to being mining and slaves. Sorry. And this is generated into a sort of trading hub, which generates its own sort of protection. Because they allow a lot more of the piracy races, factions to come in, which means they're less likely to be raided by them, and you generally don't shoot a safe haven. Generally,
those are few and far between.
So they've kind of generated this air of protection by having the scum of the earth protect them. It's kind of a bit lawless trying to get in sometimes, because they don't have much in the way of auto defences, and they can't really police their own space. But people generally keep it civil. Generally. People is in very big quotation marks, by the way.
Well, and then I handpick a task force that are, tasked with a specific task for when we arrive on this planet, to go to the other side of the planet and obtain something potentially delicious. With full deniability, of course.
Fair enough. So you enter the system. There's a number of ships moving here and there. Some of Xeno nature, some of questionable human nature. Did anyone else want to do anything on the trip? Sorry. I kind of skipped over the trip. If anyone else wants to talk to anyone.
No, I take it that most of my time goes for the day-to-day running of, well, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's fine. I was simply asking Gray and
Yeah.
Rachel.
I'm thinking about it, but most likely not. Maybe some hunting in the underdecks and such to stay sharp.
Sounds like a splendid idea.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get me one of those spider rigs.
Spider. What a thing?
A spider.
I have. I honestly have neither in character nor out of character an idea what you're talking about.
I'm sending you a link so you can have a look for
Yes.
yourself.
What is this thing? Oh, I know these guys.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
Old school Necromunda.
Hmm.
And here's, I think, even the rules for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember.
There we go. This is the first edition, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing my research in Necromunda about spiraling.
Mhm.
These guys. I didn't look into them much because it didn't really interest me.
Mhm.
But this is a perfect example of how you hunt. If you're the nobility.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you enter into a holding pattern. Are any of you on the bridge when you enter the system?
Why not?
Yeah. Sure.
Always fun to see a new system.
You are when you enter, you are hailed. The screen crackles on. There is a strange lizard. He speaks in a number of different tongues. You recognize one or two of them vaguely as different Xeno tongues, and then he tries to learn Gothic. Greetings, understand?
I'll hand it over to the captain. It's his vessel.
The captain then greets the small lizard-like folk. There is a brief conversation about where he should park himself temporarily. And yeah, it continues. It's very short and brief. They are asked the nature of your trip. Oh, sorry.
Commerce.
Commerce. Okay. Yeah. So, you go in, you station.
And actually, I tasked the ship's crew to check if there are any, like, Xenotech ship parts for sale. And see if we can do some kind of deal here. This seems to be ample ground for all kinds of that stuff. And look if we can refresh some of our inventory of cold trade items.
Mhm.
This seems a very suitable port. They have very... No, I won't get into that. So you taking a shuttle down?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. You land in a landing bay. And there are a number of small lizards standing there to greet you. And I have lost the image I was going to use. And then my computer decided to lag.
Hello, delicious-looking small people.
Do you actually say that to him?
No. Have some mint sauce, a traditional gift.
Give me a second, because Firefox decided to crash instead of load an image.
Wow. Hmm?
Da-ba-da-ba-da. Da-ba-da-ba-da. But yes, there is a small party waiting there to greet you.
Mhm.
You're not gonna open. Oh, God damn it! Why do you do this to me? Yes, there is a small party to greet you. And the first one does quite a reasonably formal bow, and it goes greetings. He seems quite fluent in logo, if with a strange accent.
Things.
And how may I help you, Mr. It is Mr., not Mrs.
It is Mr. Julian Alexander Winterschmidt Klein the Third at your service.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Third.
Indeed, I hail from the rogue trader fleet of Xanatov.
Ah!
We wish to purchase certain items that are rather abundant in your lovely little city.
Yes, I have had dealings with traders of the rogue before. Have a picture of this particular lovely individual.
Hmm. This is adorable indeed.
Was there anything you were particularly after? Most of your kin are usually quite interested in our works of art. Well,
Well, quite.
more precisely, their memories in works of art.
Well, yes, that was one of the things we're interested in. The other, my minions have been sent out to do the rest of the deals.
Oh, well, very well.
What specifically your works of art are of greatest interest. Should we perhaps move to a more pleasant locale
He,
to conduct any dealings?
yes, he nods and gestures, and leads you sort of through some nice galleries. They're very freshly built, you can tell. They have some semi-decent views over the city, which is a mix of like really run-down, crappy slums, but it's all slowly being rebuilt into actual like proper housing. And like you can tell they're trying to make a big effort to make it seem like they have some actual standards and aren't just a bunch of lizards who live in squalor. But yeah, he leads you through, and you can see numerous pieces of artwork. They're actually done slightly differently. They are done on curved walls.
Mm-hmm.
And in front of them there is a there's sort of like a spot marked out on the floor. It's usually like a little circle, and so you can stand. And he's like, yes, if you stand on the circles, you see the art as it was intended.
Mm-hmm.
I try it out.
Yeah, and it looks really impressive, like near realistic.
So how does memory play into this?
Well, we do 3 services. The first is that we take a particular memory, using our team of what is the term? I believe the term is psychers in your tongue. But we have a special team of psychers in. Is the term acquire? Quartets? But
Could possibly
We
be.
speak of a choir when referring to psychos working together.
Ah, thank you. Sorry. I don't often need to speak Low Gothic, or High Gothic, or Gothic. Gothic.
Well, we can switch to Eldar if it makes you more comfortable.
My Eldar is even worse.
Quite tragic. But please do continue.
But our choirs are our choir carefully extracts the memory of an individual, and we use these memories in three possible ways. The first is a accurate representation of the event. We imprint the memories into a number of skilled artisans, who then painstakingly recreate the scene. He gestures to one particular piece. It seems to be a battlefield, but it's like what you expect about, like, it's not like the fantasy battlefields where it's like all really, you know, nice and pretty. It's like really war torn and like dead bodies everywhere, like really, really grim. Some of the more military minded prefer this.
This seems to be a way to get rid of memories as well.
Yes, somewhat. It's not a preferred trade, but we do provide such services if required.
So, which battlefield is this? I like it.
This is the battlefield of Xerath 3, I believe.
Does that mean anything to me?
Not really. It's an Imperial Guard world. Imperial Guards fighting.
I mean, at this point, it could also be that he gives us a Xeno name for the planet you just never heard of.
This is also a risk, yes. Yeah. Quite.
We find more military and historical minded individuals prefer such artworks. They make very
Could
good.
you create a backup of a person's mind?
A backup?
A
well,
copy?
Do you have a way to re-implant the memories you extract that way into the person it came from?
He, like, scratches his snout for a moment and goes, well, I suppose we could do something like that. It'd be a case... yeah, I suppose such a service could be provided. I mean, so our psychers remove the memories of an individual, not like make a copy, and then they implant them into our artisans. I don't see how we couldn't implant them back into another race, like a Monkai. Is that the right term?
That would be the Eldar term, and in human terms, quite rude.
Sorry, as I say, low Gothic. Gothic is not my normal tongue. He then, my normal tongue is Arikazene, and he like makes him like half barking, half chicken. Not chicken. Half barking, chittering. Yeah. And a bit of hissing in there as well. It's completely completely intelligible.
Well, actually, one of your previous clients referred me here, and I was curious to see what he had you make for him. I think you know the man by the name of Velswin.
Velswin? I would have to check records. I don't personally deal with all of your human kind. I'm just one of a number of...
Please check your records if you could find what he had commissioned. I need to overtake him. A bit of a rivalry going on, you see. He can't outspend me.
He nods and goes, yes. I'm fully aware of your trade roguers doing such interactions. He then, he leads you to quite a nice sort of... It's not a hotel, it's more like,
Lounge?
Yeah, it's a lounge. No, it's more of a, private sitting room. with a number of guest rooms off. These will be your quarters for the duration of your stay. I will, if you would like, I can take you to the other guest areas where the other guests recline. So some of our facilities is a pool, a bar, what is it? And they are most appropriately designed. A number of trade rogers, sorry, kindly donated, as well as other wealthy benefactors. We try to encourage people to do such donations to make the most for everyone. He smiles and gives like a sort of half bow. It also encourages discounts with donations.
I nod politely and start vamoosing over to the bar lounge area.
So there are a number of large facilities. The bar itself is split off into a number of different areas. They're all really high quality, like there's really exotic metals and crystals, etc, etc. Trying to find seats is not hard. Well, it is hard because most of the seats aren't designed for humans. A number of the seats are designed for the Akula, which are quite small and they're kind of uncomfortable to sit on. There are some human-sized seats, and then there are a lot of weirder shaped seats for weirder shaped races.
Fair enough.
Well, I fucking hate it that this game doesn't have a gossip. I've been playing too much Warhammer Fantasy. Gossip is a brilliant skill.
Gossip?
But I guess it would... Yeah, gossip.
That would be...
Inquiry, I
That
would
would be
guess.
inquiry.
Yeah.
Just, talk around and catch my bearings on who's here, dealing in what and doing what. For example, if there would be a random Xeno mercenary company, that would be really sad. Hello, you need employment.
You glance around, there are a number of... most of them seem to be just like rough scallion pirates. Sort of thing. Like the captains of pirate ships. There is one slightly odd looking, very large green Xeno. He's dressed like a classic pirate. And he has a very small green Xeno on his shoulder, which is wearing an eye patch, and like waves a knife if anyone comes quite. He like threateningly waves a knife at anyone that comes close, but has no way he's going to hit anyone in like a billion years. He's just that small.
He basically has to climb on someone else to poke some.
Yeah. There are a number of Arculas about as well. You note that a lot of the Arculas that are mingling seem to be these winged ones, whereas the ones that are serving like drinks and such and doing the waiter stuff don't have wings. Although, like the image shows, they wear their wings kind of like a cape.
Where's the image?
The image is in Roll20.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This one.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was way too zoomed out. Or zoomed in, actually.
Adorable lizard people.
Adorable lizard people. That just gives you an idea of roughly what they look like. They tend to wear muted colours. Their sort of scaly skin is quite natural in colour, sort of dull greens and dull browns. But they tend to wear muted colours like dark reds and dark blues.
They look like they deserve to be Strix's slaves.
Wow.
Happy looking. Can't have that.
I don't like everything being grimdark.
Yeah. Well, they were. And
They were.
yeah, they are still somewhat messed over, and the planet's surface is also quite messed up in most areas,
Mm-hmm.
because Strixus didn't go willingly, but the underground caverns and mines are mostly fine.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
imagine we are either in some sort of walled-off hive or actually underground.
Mm-hmm. The landing bays were on the surface, and while they had some nice views over a sort of semi-walled-off area, most of these facilities are actually underground. You note that the roofs of a lot of these chambers are quite high, and they are natural caves. Not natural caves, but like naturally shaped caves with crystals in them.
Well, I take a table and order something expensive and pass the cocaine around. We can relax and enjoy ourselves.
Do you wish to do anything like mingle, talk to people?
Of course, that goes without saying.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to the Green Xeno, or do you want to talk to some of the less savoury people?
Don't
Or
know
see
how
if
much
anyone
common ground I have with an orc.
I didn't say it was an orc.
No, you don't need to. I mean, I can read between the lines.
It sounded very orky, but consider this as a pirate. He probably knows of some interesting happenings in the sector.
No, I don't discriminate. I even have this inured to Xenos thing, so I actually nullify their penalties for talking to like Imperials.
No,
For me, they are completely the same.
No, that's my point. Yeah. What common ground do you have with an orc? That you're looking for interesting stuff that happened in the system or in the sector.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, no, I don't discriminate. I talk to everyone. Have I ever eaten orc? Questions.
You have probably eaten a squid, which tastes
maybe
similar.
Orc. I mean, they're the second most prevalent race in the entire cosmos, so probably
Yeah.
didn't take. No, of course. Mingle dingle. You want me to roll some inquiry?
Yeah, go for an inquiry then.
No, for crying out loud. Reroll. Yeah, better.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who's here. I'm just trying to remember one of the names I've used in this system before.
And I inform the other ground teams where we are so they can send any real leads they scrounge up my way regarding the ship components and the other xenotech.
So yeah, you talk to a few of them. Most of the sort of humans here are just like low-rung pirates. They're not particularly interesting. But as you're talking, you spot someone entering. They wear a sort of mocking version of the Imperial uniform, like an Imperial Navy uniform, but it's far more ornate and in crimson. And he seems to be someone of actual importance. He glances around the room, spots your party, clicks his fingers, where one of the Akul run up and serve him a drink, and walks over to you. Greetings. I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting before.
No, you'd be correct. I would remember such a dashing uniform.
He gives a sort of half nod, half smile. I am Captain Darkus, and you are? Lord Captain Darkus.
Oh, nothing so fancy as a Lord Captain. I'm just a mere seneschal in the Xanatovian fleet.
Ah, the Sanatovian fleet. I have not had much runnings in with your house.
No, we are a bit of a different bird in the sky.
So, what brings the Sanatar fleet here?
Well, you do know what kind of business we're in, I presume.
The coal trade.
Well, yes, that's the worst kept secret in any sector.
He smiles. Yes.
So you could see why we're interested in a little safe haven like this one.
The Arkul are good, if nothing, are good at running such a safe haven.
So what vessel do you hail from, Captain?
I hail from a vessel which name the GM has forgotten and has accidentally opened goddamn Steam again. I remember actually giving this guy some, like... He actually had some information at one point, but I completely forgotten it.
Okay.
You should maybe, write down more. I mean, you're GMing a few campaigns.
Yeah.
I really, really should, and I do, like, sometimes remember to do prep, and then sometimes I completely... he is of the Black-Hearted. It's not a case that I haven't written it down, it's a case of I don't remember where I wrote it down.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because you're running way too much campaigns.
I run way too many campaigns.
Is he like a rogue trader or more rogue and less trader?
He is what one might describe as a pirate prince.
Oh.
He's a completely ran it. He's not associated with the Imperium at all, and he's carved out a small human empire, or a small empire for himself. Yes.
What was the name of the Forgotten Forge world?
The Forgotten Forge world. Oh, I know the Fractulum, I believe. Something like that. I know the one you were talking of. The one where it's got like all the stupid warp storms and is like
exactly where Wellspoon is getting all his cool shit from.
Fragmentum, that's the one.
Fragmentum.
Well, he might be getting stuff from there. It's probably the most expensive operation he has to do so, but he did have it. There was a he did have links to an unknown Forge world.
Well, that's all his plasma shit. I mean, it can't be.
Yeah. He had links to an unknown Forge world.
And he also had interest in cessation over Fragmentum.
Yes, Fragmentum is
Fragmentum is a ruin world, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a ruined Forge world, which is like covered in warp storms and like scarce Skitarii and stuff. Oh, crap! Now, why do people always mention me? Oh, right, he's looking for something. I'll look into that in a bit. But yes.
Well, Lord Captain, I have a question for you.
By all means, shoot.
You have your own empire, if I'm not mistaken. Would you happen to have a certain type of forge world amongst your little collection? One that produces a very different type of pattern of plasma weapon?
He smiles Now that would be telling, now wouldn't it?
Well, kiss, kiss, tell, tell. Who's to know?
I may be able to produce. I may be able to acquire large amounts of unusual pattern plasma equipment.
Well, it's not the case that I would need it. It's more the case that I would not want my rivals to have them.
One of those deals. He smiles. And what would you be willing to pay to try and limit such acquisitions?
Oh. Now we're getting into the interesting things. What do you need?
Did you expect anything else from the prince?
No, of course not. Would you want some juicy targets to raid, perhaps?
Perhaps. Those are always nice, but it would have to be something truly interesting to pique my interests.
I see. How do I know that you can deliver what you're talking about?
Well, you have no guarantee, but then my brain switched off. Sorry. But then I cannot guarantee that you're trying to stop. Whoever you're asking me to stop supplying won't just pay more.
Well, they will probably try. They do have quite deep pockets. But money isn't everything, is it now?
No, it is not.
A man like you already has quite as much money that any mortal can dream of.
He smiles and goes, "Money doesn't interest me. If I need more, I will simply take it. What interests me is the truly unique and the truly interesting.
Exactly.
It is why I frequent here. The alcohol, while overly happy, obnoxiously so, they do produce some very fine artwork, and I have made very nice agreements with them to supply me with copies of some of the finest.
Then we might have multiple matters to discuss. I'll need verification first, of course, from the locals.
He nods. Very well. I frequent here quite often, so if you require... if I am not here personally, one of my agents will be.
Very well, I tip my hat.
He, nods his head. He's wearing, yeah. Instead of wearing, an imperial hat, he's wearing, a very big, tricorn with, two massive feathers.
I'm wearing something ridiculously expensive and obnoxious.
Oh yeah, his hat is also ridiculously obnoxious and expensive, but it's also got the air of a classic pirate.
Yeah.
Mine is really tall, because it's always the biggest hat is the most important hat.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to compensate, so.
Nothing to compensate for.
But no, he nods and moves over to one of the tables. There were some people sitting there, but as soon as he approaches, all of them leave it, and he has the table to himself. When he sits down, he was being flanked by two people. One of which appears to be a bodyguard of some description, wearing full black, not quite carapace, but not quite, it's sort of a weird sort of carapace. The other is some sort of woman. She looks very, very pale, and wears it quite tightly around her, a cloak of black feathers.
Okay. I mean, that pretty much mirrors our group, so...
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
likely she is some sort of witch advisor. To
Mhm.
mirror Flavia as our Psychane advisor. Or
I
at
mean, do you want
least
to give me a sign?
cultivates the air of one.
Um, Forbidden Law Warp.
How can you have like 35 as target on Forbidden Roll Lore Warp?
35 base intelligence. It's not that
Yeah.
hard to get.
Oh yeah, sorry, Psyker. Yeah, that's willpower, yeah, not intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay, so is
Yeah.
she rich?
Yeah.
Or is something warpy going on?
Would you like to give me a Siniciates test first?
Hmm.
Because I would say that is actually more important.
95. Score! Maybe reroll. Just maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Go for it.
Not quite as bad.
Yeah, not quite as bad. Better than her roll. You find that it's quite hard to pick out individuals because, you know, that a lot of the, a number of the Okura are actually, psychers. They're very low-level psychers, but they are psychers, and it creates a lot of background noise. A lot more than you are used to. They, however, do seem to be very well trained. There is very little warpy presence, as far as you can tell. Maybe a case that the area is very well warded, or it may be a case of they're just very well trained. You are not sure.
So, I sit down in the table and pour a generous measure of the Amasek. I think we should have a little talk. Where do we want the pirates to raid? We need to give them something.
I just like the idea of whenever you sniff, like even in the middle of the sentence, you should just sniff in more cocaine.
That's also quite like it.
Let's have a serious talk. Sniff all cocaine.
Nope.
I was actually thinking that god-awful ring world around that place we were at. Oh, none of you were there. I mean, the one that got blown up. It would be an ample target for a bit of raiding, wouldn't it? Ship components and whatnot. Maybe even steal a vessel or two. Who knows?
That would be the Argura system. I know what it's called, honest. I don't have a memory of a fish.
Angular system and the ring world. I'm not sure if it actually had a name.
It's not a ring world as such.
It's a space.
It's the station around.
Yeah. Oh, I should have it on your journal.
Around, I think, Anti-Geminus?
Burning Harbor.
Yeah, Burning
known as
Harbor. That's
Ember. Because I happen to have my guys on situated there, so we could give them a few juicy targets and help them in the system. And more importantly, we should maybe ask from our erstwhile captors? No, that's the wrong word. Ah, the Inquisition, of course. How deep their pockets are. I mean, if you want to switch over that they are supplying us with the plasma weaponry, that will cost a few thrones.
This will probably cost an arm and a leg.
Quite, but then I'm gonna offer your arm and leg.
I would like to see you try.
I can always offer. I didn't say I'm cutting them off. Here, you know, I'm not that kind of barbarian.
I just give him my toothiest possible grin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the butcher here.
Quite. But no, I think we should firmly deal with this most trustworthy individual.
This is entirely your area of expertise.
True. I call our
can't have a pirate better than you.
I'm not a pirate. We have a warrant of trade. It makes it all perfectly legal.
Great, they're not pirates, they're privateers.
Yes, of course.
There's a world of difference.
Yeah. Privateers are paid by someone to be pirates to someone else.
Yeah. Mind that I'm a Pharaoh worlder, that is... So I don't quite see the difference.
But actually we have to pay for the privilege to the throne.
Mm-hmm.
That's beside the point. Anyway, I voxed the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And, want to talk with anybody of the inquisitorial staff.
Yeah. You do. And they say, well, Arix is currently off ship. She's gone down planet.
How lovely. Is anybody else there?
Maybe... Jackram?
Jackram's still on,
Okay.
in the Argara system.
Yes.
He's doing mop-up operations.
Fair enough.
The only person who would be about is Jenny, but Jenny is the same rank as you.
Yeah.
She
Quite.
doesn't have pocket.
But where is the sociopathic Magos Biologus? Wasn't he on board?
Yeah, but no one trusts him with any responsibility beyond
Oh, so who handles the money? Is it me?
Arix.
What a happy
It's Arix.
coin! No.
Very.
Yeah, it's you yourself, and then Arix handles the Inquisition's actual accounts.
Well, I'll box him then. If he's down here, I should probably have some range.
If you call Arix a guy, she will actually stab you.
Oh, it's her.
It is her, yes! The grouchy tech priest.
Hmm. Well,
But
I
no.
box her anyway.
Yes? Can I help you?
I hope you can. How deep are your pockets? And I'm not talking about the one on your weird dress there.
In terms of actual resources, limited. Not
Mhm.
endless.
So we're not talking about a few 100 million thrones lying aware in a dusty account somewhere.
If there are, I don't know about them.
Oh, that's too bad, because we would have an opportunity to take over Wellswin's operations supply chain regarding their plasma weapons. But it will cost a pretty little throne.
Hmm. She thinks for a moment. There may be a possible... It'd be very, very risky.
Oh, I
get
like
that-
it already.
To get that sort of money? Well, I do know of a Fortress Worlds belonging to a nearby, shall we say a competitor.
So you're proposing a heist. I can
might
smell
be
it in the air.
I may be
love
proposing a heist that the GM hasn't actually thought through at all.
I mean, that's not something we do right away.
No. But
So-
no, that might be... You might be able to get enough currency from such a location.
Because I assume that the Inquisition wants to get to all the fun stuff. I could have our guys handle the monetary end, but then you can imagine where all the weapons are going to end up in. On the open market, of course. Where else?
Yes. which most likely means they'll end up back in Wilson's hands, if he's being smart.
Well, true.
Or stupid.
But we might actually want to arm our armsmen with those as well. I'll have to send an astropathic message to inquire about this, actually.
I will look a bit more into this opportunity if you're genuinely thinking about it.
Oh, I'm only smelling an opportunity to spend an obscene amount of money.
Yes. But no, perhaps we can get to... perhaps we can knock out a competitor and you can have the money you need for whatever deal you're trying to barter.
Very well. And I also send a communicate to the ship to send out an astropathic message to the fleet.
Yep, it is relayed to the ship, and they will begin an astropathic message. About this time, your guide returns.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a look in the archives. Welsman, was it not?
Correct.
Which one was it?
Yes, we have a number of his memories on archive.
Interesting.
We have a number of... you were curious about the pieces, were you not?
Yes, indeed.
Very well. Follow me. The gestures. You go through some more tunnels. Again, these are still quite the nice areas. You note that now, it suddenly dawns on you that the crystals are not natural, but they've been carefully embedded in the ceiling. And some of them glow, which is how they've been lighting the area. They lead you to what looks a bit like a theatre, but designed for very few people. Your guide gestures you to sit, which I assume you guys do.
Yep.
He then goes to a booth sort of next to you, and pulls out these strange crystals. They are blue in colour, and contain like a mist. He rigs it up to some sort of strange equipment, and it flickers on the screen. And it shows a number of various locations. They're mostly battles, the pieces. Good quality, not like some of the best ones you've seen on display, but they're still pretty decent quality.
What battles are they?
They just seem to be void battles against various pirates and such.
Quite. I don't think it's that simple. There has to be some clues. Various pirates, always the same pirate bands, same locations.
Yeah.
Are they...
there are... As you're looking, there are two reoccurring... There's two reoccurring bands you see being fought. You don't recognize them immediately. You suspect they might be quite far-flung pirate bands in the deeper sections of Yinderfell. There is also a number of ships you vaguely recognize as Imperial, like an Imperial Navy fleet.
That they're fighting.
Yes. No, they are actually the ships attacking.
What now?
So-
See.
Okay, sorry. Let me re-explain that.
Yeah.
So the attackers, the ones you see from, are an Imperial Navy fleet. They are fighting what they look to be pirate fleets. You don't necessarily recognize them straight away, but you suspect they might be in the system, in this sector. Sector, the right word? Subsector. So. the final image is of a completely different location. It is not a battle, but it seems to be some sort of award ceremony. It seems as though you can see Welsven, or who you suspect to be Welsven, kneeling before someone, before a shadow. You cannot see them at all. They seem to have, they appear to have wings of fire, and seem to be knighting Welsven.
Wings of fucking fire.
Yes.
That is. Would common law occult or imperial creed help me with that?
You can give me a roll on them.
On both?
You can give me a roll on both.
Okay. Modifiers?
Just give me straight rolls, and I'll
Okay.
keep the modifiers secret.
Oh.
While you look at this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is, maybe it's some sort of iconography of the Emperor or of a really high saint, but you look a bit more closely at the detail of the image. There appears to be no aquillas in the chapel. It says it.
Yeah.
There's no imperial
Iconography.
iconography. Thank you. At least none you recognise. There's some iconography about, and it's vaguely in the source of the Imperial, but not normal.
Okay.
So you don't recognise it as Imperial. This doesn't seem to be an Imperial location.
Yes.
Criminal cartels, maybe it's something like that. I have that as a forbidden lore.
Do you have Forbidden Law Pirates?
No.
No.
I really need to take it.
Yeah, no. It's not a criminal cartel.
I mean, that looks almost like a Forbidden Law heresy.
Does anyone have Forbidden Law Heresy?
No, I don't. Well, I don't.
I don't know if Rochelle has any of those.
Yeah. If Rochelle wants to give me any law she thinks is appropriate.
I mean, if it's like super heretical, it could probably fit under Imperial.
No, she didn't have it. Oh.
She does.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, she does have Heresy. Unfortunately, she doesn't pass.
So, how much for all of these?
He says a price, which I'm not going to try and guess because I'll probably get it wrong. Well, he tells you the price that Welsman paid for them. Memory extraction is quite expensive, but for copies, it would be a fraction.
Quite. I'll buy all of them, please.
Very well. How do you want them displayed?
In a suitably dramatic way.
He nods, completely understanding you, despite the fact that's cryptic. He then gets a sort of flip phone, something that looks a bit like a flip phone, and speaks into it briefly. It's again in the barking, hissing, crickling voice he's got. It's very well. It will take maybe a week to get it all commissioned.
Very well. And also, I would like to inquire. I give him a list of names. If any of these people have any of their memories here. It's basically a list of rivals, very important people. Anything that I could actually think about to make, our position stronger, as in the rogue trader, please.
Yeah, the rogue trader.
Including inquisitors, everything. Planetary governors, sector governors. everything.
Mm-hmm.
He nods and says, very well, it will take me a little while, but seeing as you are here for a week, I can get that sorted, no worries. If you require me, just simply ask. My name is Kira.
Very well. What do you accept as tips?
As tips,
Is there a tipping culture on your world?
there is, but it varies between the various races.
I throw him a ring with giant diamonds on it.
He nods and smiles and accepts it gratefully. And this will do lovely, thank you.
Now we need to get our remembrancers working on these images, trying to extract everything possible from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But first we have a week here.
Yeah.
So I either spend here or in the immediate area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you wish to do anything?
Of course I do. I try to find out if any or more of our potential rivals or even allies have their things here, and then I of course commission a piece for myself.
Mm-hmm. The piece commissioned for yourself. So when you ask for a piece commissioned for yourself, they take you to a large chamber. They sit you down in a rather comfortable chair. They put on some sort of weird headpiece. It takes some bit of fiddling to do. If you glance, as you probably glance behind yourself, and you can see a number of the Aquila sort of sitting there with similar sort of headgear. There is a large screen in front of you. Your guide, Kira, stands before you and is like, okay. The piece you would like to commission, please focus on the memory as strongly as possible.
So before we begin, it wasn't possible to take, say, a backup of my entire mind.
Well,
A copy.
yes, I suppose it would. We might have to do a bit of adjusting, if you wanted a complete backup.
Well,
and
yes,
we'd have
I
to-
would.
Yeah, very well.
You remember those 3 clones I talked about previously?
Yes.
I wasn't joking.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he goes off, he talks to the choir. They seem to relax for a moment. He then leaves the room. About 10 minutes later, he comes back. He seems to have a second choir, who then start wiring themselves in. And he's also carrying a very large blue crystal, similar to the ones you saw before, but this one's completely clear.
Oh, and one more thing. If we are doing this deal, it is going to be an exclusive. This cannot be copied or sold to anybody else except me.
That is going to cost a lot then. You
Of
understand.
course.
Very well. They set up the crystal. He goes to a sort of apparatus. It had a normal crystal in it before, like the ones you saw previously. The crystal, like the crystal he was using, are like only maybe an inch big. This one is like a good 2-3 foot large. It's massive compared to all the little crystals they use. He carefully puts into the machine and has to adjust it quite a lot. And then he stops and thinks for a moment. Very well. Yes. Clicks his fingers. Goes off again. Comes back a few minutes later, and he's carrying a sort of drink. And he offers it to you.
Bottoms up for the throne and all that nonsense.
If you say so. You drink it. And you become very, very sleepy. And then you fall asleep, and you seem to replay your entire life up until that point for a second time. It's in fast forward, and and it's a lot more hazy. For the other two, this process takes about 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
As Julian has to go through his entire memories and fill up the crystals.
Yeah.
Fill up the crystal. But yes, afterwards, you are awoken. You are starving. You are thirsty. The choir behind you is completely different to the first choir you saw, or the double choir.
As far as he can tell the difference between...
Yeah, they all look like delicious lizard people to me.
Yeah. One of them's wearing this bright purple bright purple colours, which clearly wasn't there before.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
I see, I see.
Kira gives a sort of smile and nods. Yes, the process took a while, but it is done. The payment will be very, very expensive.
Hmm. Of course it will.
He gestures to the crystal. The crystal now, this very large crystal, is not even like slightly smoky like the other ones you saw. It is completely opaque. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is right, yes.
Yeah, you cannot see through it at all. The mists inside are a very deep, deep purple swirling around. And he goes, that is a complete backup of your memories.
Excellent. You shall have your payment. I paid from the fleet's coffers. This is actually an experiment to see if we can make our leadership effectively immortal.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, they will hurt the fleet some because of how much effort they've put into this. Did you want the crystal?
Yes.
When you ask for the crystal, he goes, "Well, it will be pretty much useless to you, unfortunately."
How so?
Do you know how to extract it? The memories, that is.
No.
Maybe
The
you
lizard
should
then
try and buy one of their projectors.
The lizard then smiles and goes, "Well, exactly. No, I mean, you're more than welcome to take it with you, but without us, it will be completely useless. It's how we've guaranteed our
Existence.
monopoly on the market and our existence."
Well, I'm not too worried about that part. And if this works in the matter that I truly hope it does, then you shall have even more powerful friends.
Very well. Yeah, he'll lead you back to the, he'll lead you to a very nice looking restaurant where you are, served food. Like, they don't even wait for you to ask, they just put some food in front of you. And you haven't eaten in 3 days now.
Yep. So, food time. Happy food time.
Yeah, do the either of you two do anything?
Yes, I would say I do wander the public streets and such. There is a markets and such.
Yeah, you are not stopped from leaving the the sort of, guest area. But it notably changes.
Yeah.
The Akura must have some sort of dark vision, because most of the hallways are poorly lit to not lit at all.
Yeah.
The public markets are there. They look at you with an air of suspicion, but don't say anything.
Yeah, it is. I'm more interested in stuff, say, like trade on. Basically, not their own artworks, or not specifically their artworks, but more other stuff. What I'm, for example, looking for would be some tours of my trade. Or, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you wander around for a while, and they seem to have like bits and pieces from everywhere.
Mm.
They seem to take whatever tools they can get their hands on and use them however they can.
Yes, that is a very good approach. I like it.
Yeah. Like here and there, you'll see some sort of like imperial prehab,
Mm.
just like randomly dotted about.
Yeah.
Mixed in between like not squalor, but like there's a few very shanty throne kings, but they have there was a lot of construction teams about as well, like trying to build stuff.
Yeah.
Give me a roll of a dice with a number of sides consisting of.
I can just give you a dice 100, or?
Sure, go for it, because I don't know what I was going to say. I was stalling for my brain to work, and it didn't work.
Yeah. 36. Make of that whatever you want.
Yes.
It would match my intelligence score, and it would be 1 degree of success on perception. 1 bonus degree of perception. If that has anything to do with it.
Yeah. Not really.
Okay.
As you're wandering around, you spot a set of. There are a number of market stalls which just seem to have random things, like random collections of various tools. Like you see one stall where they have a bunch of power packs, like Imperial issue power packs, but they've been modified to act like lighters.
That is indeed interesting.
You eventually come across a stall which has they're not so much tools of your trade, but they seem to be miscellaneous tools. There's some surgical tools, some medical tools. Some are made of a weird crystal, which you've never seen. Others seem to be carved out of bone.
Yeah, that is indeed interesting. Basically, what I was looking for would be this.
Rendering apothecary.
It's not quite medical tools.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with Xenos manufacture.
Yeah. It counts as that. I'm going to say it counts as a. Most are very large, but the best quality cards no larger than that. Yeah. If you can effectively make.
I probably can put one together out of the various tools.
Yes.
They're flying around.
But it will weigh 30 kilograms, not 20.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah, it's mostly for something to store on the ship or so.
Yeah.
Or put on
It is pretty large, but yeah, you can pick up all the bits and pieces you need to make such a kit.
Okay, that would be one thing, and also I'm basically keeping my ears open for any interesting rumors and such. I don't have inquiry train, so.
There's a lot of problem in that most of them don't speak your language.
That is not just in the outer areas, but also in the guest areas.
In the guest areas, yeah. Like it's hard. It's quite hard to trade with these guys. You have to like effectively like barter. They seem to have like basic grasps of yes, no in most languages. And like higher and lower. But like aside from that, it's very hard to communicate with these things. In the guest area, there's various people about. There's nothing outside of what you already know. There's not much being discussed.
Okay.
You do learn that Darkus has quite this sort of empire on the very far edges of the Indefel system.
That is interesting.
He's carved his empire out very, very far away from the Imperium.
That does make sense, because the Imperium does not like other Imperiums beside it.
Mm-hmm. So, his little empire is very far-flung. I mean, you can give me an inquiry roll if you like.
Yes. It's not exactly likely. Can I at least roll it off perception when I have
Sure.
a minimum chance?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
It's still 28%, so... Any modifiers? No?
No.
Suppose not. Nope.
No. Not much about. Darkus seems to be the only interesting person about, and he doesn't seem interested. Unless you want to talk to the orc.
To who?
The orc.
I mean, I can entirely try. I'm quite green myself, so...
Was it the snotling on its shoulder, or was
Yes.
it the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was probably either snotling or a very, very small Gretchen.
Yeah, the orc is like,
Mhm.
greetings, you landlubbery matey boy.
Greetings, Captain.
He, like, robotically nods.
Captain.
What can I do for ya, ya?
Hmm.
Not so Gretchen, not so Gretchen, not so Gretchen. Human.
Oh, I'm just a bloodhound for my own captain. I'm trying to sniff out new ways, new paths, new meat.
Well, there be good hunting in the Marazor system. Always good
Marazor.
plunder there.
Oh. What are you hunting there?
It be one of
My
them.
master is not interested in common prey, you understand?
It be one of them independent Hume settlements. I don't know where this accent's going. God, wow, I cringe myself sometimes.
Yeah. Yes,
Just speak like a football hooligan and you'll be fine.
I don't know how to speak like a football human.
Oi, mate, get what up?
I
Gonna mash him.
I'm just gonna speak normally because I'll drive myself insane if I keep speaking like that.
Sneaky cunning.
Sneaky cunning. They are a human settlement, which has a bunch of them xenos.
Yeah.
It's not part of the Imperium.
What? Say Xenos? What sort of
Human xeno.
What them look like?
No, that's not the right thing. Yeah, let's go with Maricor, because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to correct myself. They have all different types. They got some of those bat ones, and a few of these little lizardy ones here, the whatever they're called, and some others. I don't know their names. None of them stand up to me.
Yes, that
Again.
is indeed good news. And what brings the captain as splendid and powerful to this planet?
Silly plunder. These little lizardy folks always buy the stuff you bring, regardless of what it is and what it can do.
And where it comes from. And don't ask questions where you got it from.
They never do.
And if they do, it's in their barky language and no one understands it anyways.
You getcha, yeah! Don't like it when it's covered in the blood, but... they only complain a little then. They always have, they don't tend to sell good loot, but they have other customers that have some good stuffs they sell.
I've seen and heard. Yeah. Well, that is something to carry home, at least. I thank you, Captain.
This is all Captain Bugger.
Is it?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
It's just me deciding that I'm going to throw an Orc Captain here because I couldn't think of any other Xenos. But yeah. But yeah, I believe that's... Is there anyone else? Is there anything else anyone wants to do while they're here?
No, I think I did plenty.
Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, a week goes past, and you are presented with a number of images. They're on very large canvases. They're on the sort of curved canvases that they seem to prefer to make the arts. You know, and they are all the images that you were shown in the display.
Rightio.
They are. They're loaded up onto your ship, and yeah, is there? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, you go back onto the ship. Arix is back up there now. She greets you. So, get any good information?
Follow me, please. We have a new gallery.
She nods and follows.
I take her to the special section of the gallery. Ta-da!
I assume you're showing her that one strange picture, or just
well, no, all of them.
Yeah, all of them. She looks over and goes, that's an Imperial fleet. That's definitely Imperial Navy. I would have to do some digging next time we're in an Imperial port, but we might be able to work out. These figureheads are very distinct, so it shouldn't be too hard. And this last image is very, very strange. It's like mockery of Imperial Creed.
Quite so. I would assume that this has something to do with who's financing him.
Yes, I would imagine so. Perhaps Wilson was an Imperial Navy captain before all this.
That this Nostradamus stars himself Emperor or Demon Lord?
Maybe. I mean, it's impossible to say. There's not very much detail on him himself. He just seems to be a shadow. But the fiery wings are kind of a big giveaway of something's not quite right in this image.
Yet it's from his memory.
It is.
So there is no artistic license to take.
We didn't actually ask about the other two variants they make.
No, you like when they were trying to explain how they did the art, you cut them off on the realistic one.
Hmm. But we've spent a week there, so maybe we heard later.
Yeah,
the other two are.
You could have asked the guide about them. The other two types, one is a artistic take on the image. This is generally the most common sort. And it puts images in the favour of the thing. It removes details like excessive dead bodies and excessive amounts of gore, etc., etc. He is able to show you a number of different images of various locations and battles, both in space and on the ground. It's quite common for space battles because usually it's specks of lights halfway across the battlefield, which you can't see. And the final one, which is not very common but quite expensive, is trying to work it off a not a memory, but of a vision. Not a vision.
A fantasy.
Fantasy, that's the one. It's not particularly common because it is very, very hard to actually pull off correctly. But they do get the occasional piece that is based off fantasy. Quite often it's... they do have a few specialists who travel to try and get images to help create these fantasy ones.
So it could be either he met someone like this, or he dreams of being knighted by whatever this thing is.
Wasn't this a definitive memory?
No, he didn't say, actually.
Doesn't say.
Doesn't say.
Well, fuck. Yeah, we need to find out.
He says...
The money we've just spent here.
Yeah. He says that there was definitely some artistic license put onto this one. He's unable to tell you how much, though. It's not kept in the records.
So it's not of a fantasy, so...
It doesn't appear to be... If it is off a fantasy, it's off a fantasy that is based off his own memories.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did we get any other hits on the list?
Yeah, there's a few rogue traders on there.
And other people of interest.
Other people of interest, not so much. There's like one or two various bits and pieces. Bearing in mind this operation is being running for a very short period of time, in relative time. So, and any records before the Akura took over were mostly destroyed. So.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm just, of course, I'd purchase all of them that can give us any edge.
Yeah, it's like one or two rogue traders, most of which are like they're not particularly interesting or unique. Well, they are unique, but they're not particularly noteworthy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Of course, but anything that can be used as ammunition is always welcome.
Here's a painting and you had commissions.
Oh no, it's mostly about the detail. There's
fair.
very, very good chance that they, put in some detail in these paintings that they probably shouldn't have.
Potentially. Again, the rogue trader ones tend to be of the space battles, which are noted to have creative license, if only so the ships aren't just specs.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, but even those could probably give you a good potential place for salvage.
Yeah.
Capabilities of their ships, it gives you a lot of things.
Yeah, no, that is true. But yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And Kira bids you farewell. Hopes to see you again in the future. Yeah.
And I send the second astropathic message to the... what do you call it? The...
fleet?
No, not the fleet. The main ship of the fleet. What's that called? Flagship. Yes.
Flagship, yeah.
And inform them that we have possibly a way for the rogue trader and the immediate retinue to be immortal if this piques their interest?
They will get back to you. Because astropath messages take some time.
Yes, they do.
So yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to do this session?
I'd like to know if my abduction team was successful. They did have like a week.
They did have a week. They haven't reported in at all.
That's not a good sign.
There is quite a chance they were eaten.
You suspect they might have been abducted.
What an ironic twist of fate.
Yeah. Shit happens.
Well, yes. Then we need to make a hastier plan. Are there anyone like these lizard people working in the docks?
Yeah, there's a few.
Sweet. One of them will have a Shanghaiing experience.
Shanghai?
Yeah. Get him drunk or drugged up enough that you can basically take him on board the ship and force him to work. Or as it were, eat him.
There is a massive problem in that the dock workers don't seem to speak Low Gothic. Or High Gothic.
Oh, well, then we can just abduct him, I guess. Using some of the brutes of the ship. Wearing, I don't know, a competitor's colors. Just a thought.
Okay. If you really want to do that,
I really want to do that.
Okay, yeah, you abduct a random dock worker.
Indeed. And he gets sent to the kitchen, and not as help.
Okay. Turns out they're quite stringy and not particularly tasty.
God damn it. All that effort for nothing. What a bloody disappointment.
They're all skin and bones.
What was if you tenderize the meat? Send it back, do something, make it delicious.
Okay, right, okay, fair enough.
Chop chop.
Yeah.
Much better.
I get a chance to try out my new tours, so...
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
If it's dead already, it's meat.
Yeah, unfortunately it wasn't dead before you decided to do this.
I'm sorry?
I said it wasn't dead a few hours ago.
No, it was the first time it turned out to be stringy and not particularly usable. Then Julian has sent it back, and I was like, okay, I'll see if I can make something out of that.
Make it delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think I know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's plausible. It's still not amazing.
No. Okay. All that effort for nothing. Nothing. Useless species.
Fair enough. What do you? Is there anything else you wish to do this session apart from torture my poor kobold race?
No.
No.
Cry. Fair enough. We shall. I know it's a bit of a shorter session, but should we go?
It just happens.
Yeah. What lead do you wish to go after next?
Good question. Where did we have the leads anyway?
In the channel called Leads.
No, we had Leads channel.
Yeah.
Is it in
Heresy,
Leads?
in the Suicide Cell.
Did our astropods work out what the navigators or pilots work out what those unknown stars are?
Maybe. I don't know yet.
Okay.
What stuff did we get from Heros anyway? I mean, we have a ship full of shit from there as well.
Heros?
Yeah, we stole their supplies, so...
Did we get any info on the crystals?
And the people inside the pods.
Yeah.
We had them questioned, so we need to know what they know.
Yes, I will... What I'll do is, between sessions, is I will update the leads to actually have the information, because I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between this session and last one, which was 2 weeks. So.
Yeah.
I will try and remember. Places I mentioned were Markor, which is the human Xeno settlement. Did I mention anywhere else? I mentioned the Pirate Prince.
Yeah. He did mention
Darkest.
this Markor. But that is not the directly related lead. It's still an independent human settlement that apparently consorts with Xenos.
Yeah.
And might just be a trading place.
Yep. And I mentioned the heist potential.
Yes, you did.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. I will, as I say, I will write these up between sessions to actually have some information other than it's a possible location.
Yeah. So I suppose during the week we'll decide which lead we go after.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
That sounds completely and totally reasonable. Awesome.
Most disappointed at the lizards.
Yeah.
They had the audacity not to be delicious. How dare they? How dare they? I flew across the entire sector just for that.
The problem is they're too happy.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's all
I
that
should sell
happiness.
this. Yeah, it is. I should sell this place back to the Strixes. They know how to develop misery on a grand scale. I like it.
I imagine you'll probably return here.
Yeah, we do have some business here, and I think the warrant will also earmark this place for some special treatment, probably invasion. Take it over. Why the hell not? They have a very unique resource that we can't have all of our rivals having. That would be no. They wanted protection. Oh, protection they shall have.
Fair enough.
On the way out, I asked the Censors people to map out the defenders. I mean, they can't be that many.
No, there doesn't seem to be that many. Like, the actual defenders of the system seem to be quite surprisingly lightly guarded.
Oh, then it's a trap. Of course it is.
You suspect that they might be defended by the pirates that use it.
Well, yes, but pirates aren't really good defending force. They're called pirates for a reason. If a serious fleet would be warping in here, they would scatter to the winds.
Perhaps.
But even with the pirates here, how big a fleet are we talking about?
A few dozen ships.
Few dozen ships. Of various sizes, mainly small ones, right? Fast.
Yeah, mostly small ones. There's a few notable, slightly larger fleets.
But light
One
cruisers.
appears to be of...
Light cruisers.
Yeah. Prince Darkus is I would have to get back to you, but he's got a decently scary ship.
Oh, well, we're not fucking with him. We're
Yeah,
going to work with him. What a
There is also
lovely chap.
a
And then
What's
there's
that, sorry?
also what?
you also you don't spot any orc ships.
No
Yeah.
orky business. That's odd. But is there one ship which has ridiculous amounts of dakka on it?
Yeah, there's like a single small ship that is clearly orc, but it's not. You wouldn't suspect that to be the main ship of a orc captain.
Well, no, I was talking about the bigger ships. I mean, if he has bolted a ridiculous amount of dakka on one of the ships that are bigger, that would be his vessel.
You don't seem yeah, I suppose there is one.
I mean, he's an orc. Dakka is in the blood. There
Yeah.
has to be.
Once upon a time it might have been Imperial, and now it's just a wall of Dakka.
A wall of guns.
Yeah.
Needs more dakka, boys.
Mhm.
Here we go. Here we go. Sweet. Yeah, let's look at the leads and
Yeah. As I say, I'll write them up. But yeah, 100 XP for this session.
Yeah.
I just realised I've had it on the Be Right Back screen the entire session. I'm very sorry.
Oops, happens.
what has been on beer at Mick?
Is this
The
stream?
stream. Not that there's
Oh.
been much to show. It's just literally this one image of a
Okay.
kobold. Because I've gone to this sort of pinboard thing, and so
Mhm. And yeah, I mean, until there's some actual combat or exploration, that is perfectly fine.
I think it's gonna take quite a while, so maybe I'm gonna go for Forbidden Lore Pirates,
Hmm.
okay.
considering the amount of pirates we've been around.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah. What are you currently at? Oh yeah, the votes.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to vote, there's so few of us.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
If we're just voting for each other,
Yeah, that
if
is silly.
anything.
Yeah,
We need to have more players for that thing to work.
Yeah, I will actually get off my ass and like recruit some players between this session and next. So, but yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall see you next week.
Mhm.
Bye.
All right.